Sufi wisdom, the warrior of the heart. Across history, many traditions have sought mastery. Some trained the body, some trained the mind, some trained the will. Sufism chose a different battlefield, the heart. Sufism is the mystical path of Islam, but its wisdom reaches far beyond religion. It is not concerned with outer appearance, titles, or rituals performed for show. It asks a quieter, more dangerous question. Who are you beneath the ego, the inner struggle? In Sufi teaching, the greatest struggle is not against the world, it is against the self, the ego that demands recognition, the ego that fears loss, the ego that clings to identity. This struggle is called the greater jihad. Not a war of violence, but a war of awareness. To see oneself clearly, without illusion, is the highest act of courage. Discipline through love. Where Stoicism uses reason and Zen uses stillness, Sufism uses love. Not sentimental love, but devotion. A burning focus that dissolves the false self. The Sufis believed that love was not an emotion to be felt, but a force that strips away everything unreal. Love humbles, love empties, love reveals. The practice of remembrance. Central to Sufi life is remembrance, dhikr, a returning of attention to the present, to breath, to silence, to awareness. Through repetition and stillness, the mind loosens its grip. Thoughts slow, identity softens. What remains is presence, not the story of who you think you are, but the experience of being. The illusion of the separate self. Sufi wisdom teaches that much of human suffering comes from one mistake, believing we are separate, separate from others, separate from life, separate from meaning. The Sufis saw this separation as an illusion. When the ego falls quiet, what remains is unity, not as an idea, but as a lived reality, strength without harshness. Sufi masters were not weak. They were deeply disciplined, but their strength was gentle. They understood that force hardens the ego, while humility dissolves it. True power, they taught, is the ability to remain open, even in difficulty, even in loss, even in uncertainty. Why Sufi wisdom matters today. The modern world feeds the ego endlessly. Comparison, outrage, identity. Sufi wisdom offers an antidote, not by escaping the world, but by no longer being ruled by it. It reminds us that peace does not come from control, but from surrender. Not surrender to circumstances, but surrender of illusion. Closing reflection. The Stoic stands firm through reason. The samurai stands still through presence. The Sufi walks a quieter path, one where the heart is trained, the ego is softened, and love becomes discipline. In losing the false self, something truer is found, and in that discovery, the deepest freedom begins.